we are calling and have called for an emergency special session of our state legislature, firmly focused on the values we hold dear that I think are universal values and are American values as it relates to freedoms and individual liberty.
If you thought that Donald and Melania Trump's relationship was pretty rocky during the campaign, it seems to have only gotten worse since election night. Because as we have known for a while, Melania Trump has no interest in returning to her duties as First Lady, and we can tell, because she is abandoning Trump tomorrow. And what was supposed to be their first public appearance since election night, and a traditional event that she just doesn't want to show up to. And of course, MAGA is now giving all the reasons why, but I think we know the reason why. She is tired of her husband. She is fed up. And there's also one specific thing that's happened since election night, that might be a little thorn in her side, leading to some anger for her husband, and we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me now. Before we get into Melania publicly just abandoning her husband, I want to check out a little clip from election night that shows, like I said, where the relationship really stands.
Got it. Perfect.
That's great.
Why don't we do a family shot?
Elon, you have to have a picture with your boy.
Yeah.
So we have to get Elon with his boy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That gorgeous, perfect
Tristan's
boy.
almost enough.
That's a great
Perfect. Whole
picture.
family?
Family? You got
Family?
Laura?
There's.
I thought that clip was important to check out, because one, it shows the weird closeness between Trump and Elon, which I'm going to talk about in just a little bit. But it also shows the absence of Melania, a family photo that doesn't include Donald Trump's wife, a little suspicious, a little weird, but also pretty telling of the state of their relationship. Melania doesn't want to be there. We know that she is not interested in returning to the White House. And that's incredibly clear in what we're going to talk about in just a bit, with her complete abandonment of her husband in public. But there's a reason for it. I think there may be something that's bothering her, and it can be seen in what was aired about Melania on Russian state TV only a few days ago. Russian state TV airs Melania Trump's nude photos on primetime. A Russian state television network congratulated Melania Trump on her husband's re-election as president of the United States by showing nude photographs of her live on television, according to a post on X on the show. 60 minutes, the Russian television presenter spoke about Donald Trump's re-election and showed numerous photos from Melania Trump's modeling days on screen, including new photographs from a GQ profile in 2000. Julia Davis, founder of the Russian media monitor Watchdog Group, posted video of the broadcast alongside the caption. Meanwhile, in Russia, this is how the most watched state TV channel in the country welcomed Melania Trump's upcoming return to the White House. This segment ended with music and a series of photos of Trump alongside the voiceover, "What does my body, my choice really mean?" Harkening back to a promotional video the First Lady posted on X ahead of the release of her autobiography, Melania. Now, a lot of people have speculated that this was the Russians kind of mocking and trolling Donald Trump and showing just how in control of him they are. And that wouldn't be any surprise to me. But it's clearly something that upset Melania Trump because, like I said, she is abandoning her husband and not appearing at the White House tomorrow, where Joe Biden will be welcoming Donald Trump. And Joe Biden was supposed to be welcoming Melania, but she decided not to go. And what is just an unprecedented move, except for in 2020, when Donald Trump wouldn't invite President Biden or Melania wouldn't invite Joe Biden. But Fox News tried to spin this abandonment of Donald by Melania in a clip that we're going to break down. But first, we got to check it out.
President Biden will host President-elect Trump at the White House tomorrow.
don't expect to see Melania there. The incoming First Lady is expected to skip her meeting with outgoing First Lady Jill Biden. So is there bad blood? A New York Post source says yes, claiming that it stems from the FBI's raid of the Trump's Florida home. Now, the source familiar with Melania's decision telling the Post, quote, she ain't going. Jill Biden's husband authorized the FBI snooping through her underwear drawer. The Bidens are disgusting. Now, Melania Trump released this video about the raid back in September. Watch.
I never imagined my privacy would be invaded by the government here in America. The FBI raided my home in Florida and searched through my personal belongings. This is not just my story. It serves as a warning to all Americans, a reminder that our freedom and rights must be respected.
A powerful video, Kaylee, that might portend this decision, why she refuses to meet with Joe Biden.
She is a wife to Donald Trump. She is a mother to Barron. She is someone who has feelings. She's a human being, regardless of what the media tries to do to her. And they say, CNN says, oh, it was a prior scheduling conflict. It has not been finalized yet. But I think this is the incoming First Lady saying, I'll do it my way. We know Donald Trump loves that song from Frank Sinatra. This is her way of saying that. Because to her point just there, the lawfare, the raid of Mar-a-Lago, I just want to remind everyone of that New York Times Katie Rogers story where Biden said to a close circle of advisors that Trump posed a threat to democracy and should be prosecuted. Okay? Forgive her for saying, I don't want to meet with the husband of the person who told that to a close group of advisors.
I don't think that Fox is spot on there, and what a shock that is. But no, Melania isn't upset that Biden raided her home, which she didn't. It was the FBI investigating Donald Trump's crimes. Plain and simple, nothing more. But this just shows how distant their relationship is, if we can even call it that. At this point, Melania doesn't want to be around Donald, and Donald is clearly content just bringing new Melania in, like Laura Loomer, or now Elon Musk, who really kind of seems to be Donald Trump's first lady. They're having lunch together, they're hanging out, they're chatting all the time. And of course, about the most dangerous thing, and one of those, as we mentioned the Russians earlier, was possible collusion during this election, as is reported right here.
Miles, I understand that as part of your reporting, you've put together that there were some 60 bomb threats. Not credible bomb threats, but bomb threats nonetheless that were called in to polling sites across Georgia. Is that right?
Yeah. 60 bomb threats, many of them attributed, we believe, to Russian sources. None of them turned out to be anything, but it did gum up the works here a little bit. But, Jeff, I think the takeaway story here from Georgia is, despite all of that, this was a pretty smooth election. Over
60 bomb threats from Russians in Georgia elections. This is not getting nearly the coverage it deserves, and neither are the conversations that Trump and Putin had, according to Bob Woodward, at least 7, and Elon Musk and Putin had now, with Musk on the calls of Trump and Zelensky, other world leaders as well, showing how close they are. And no one wants to talk about this, especially the Republicans who are crying election security all the time, now seem to not care. But like I said, Donald Trump seems to have abandoned his old Melania in Melania, and then his new Melania and Laura Loomer for a different First Lady, Elon Musk, who is clearly making it known how he feels about personnel decisions, as is reported right here.
Mar-a-Lago has basically been brimming for the last 2 days, I'm told, with two kinds of people. Those angling for a job and those who are trying to influence Trump into hiring their picks. But one person has loomed over all of that. His name is Elon Musk. Multiple sources tell me tonight that Musk has been seen at Mar-a-Lago nearly every single day since Donald Trump won, dining with him on the patio at times. Today, they were seen on the golf course together. Musk has been in the room when world leaders have called Trump. And tonight, we've learned he's also weighing in on staffing decisions, making clear his preference for certain roles even. Publicly tonight, Elon Musk is backing Florida Senator Rick Scott as the next leader of the Republican conference to replace Mitch McConnell. While Musk himself is still not expected to take any kind of formal position inside Trump's administration, given how complicated it would be with his companies, what's becoming clearer tonight is that he doesn't really need to. with one source telling me Elon Musk is having just as much influence from the outside.
We knew that Donald Trump was bought and paid for. We always knew that. But now it's really being shown that this administration is going to operate like an oligarchy, that Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and the richest of the rich have ultimate influence over Donald Trump, that the guy who claimed that he was going to be bringing down prices, helping the working class, always BS, is actually just focused on enriching his closest billionaire buddies. We saw the wealth of the 10 richest men in America go up by $60 billion after Election Day. Now, that money doesn't just come out of anywhere. It doesn't just appear. It's moved from the pockets of those in the bottom 50% of America to those in the top 0.001%. That's what Donald Trump is about, making his rich friends richer and then having us pay for their tax cut. That's what we're up against with this Trump administration. And that's why we need to see more Democrats fighting back. And one of those Democrats is Gavin Newsom, who called Trump out right here.
We are calling and have called for an emergency special session of our state legislature, firmly focused on the values we hold dear that I think are universal values and are American values as it relates to freedoms and individual liberty, as it relates to the issues of reproductive freedom in particular, as it relates to the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water, and environmental stewardship, planting firmly our feet as it relates to continuing to advance our low carbon green growth strategies. To do the same as it relates to vulnerable communities. We're not going to shrink, and we're not going to shy or fall prey to the rhetoric around demeaning and belittling vulnerable communities, scapegoating vulnerable communities. We're going to have their back. We're going to have your back. Even if you don't live in the state of California, we're going to have your back.
The next 4 years are going to be tough. We are going to have to work harder than we ever have. And that means on not just enshrining rights and making sure that Donald Trump can't attack them, the values in Democratic states that he wants to go after, the Democratic governors he wants to go after. But we also have to make sure that we're messaging the failures of the Trump administration and who Donald Trump is really working for. We know his billionaire buddies in the establishment, because that's what he is and always has been. And we're going to be calling that out on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you soon.